with Blissful Baby Sleep Coaching. And today is my Get Sleep Back on Track. I like to come in here on most Wednesdays. I want to tell you right from the get-go that I will be here next Wednesday, the 15th. But I will not be here on the 22nd and the 29th. I'm going to be taking a little bit time off with my family. So I hope that you guys are planning some fun things for this holiday season. But today, what I wanted to talk about is room sharing. So this is a big topic, right? Because right now the Academy of Pediatrics is recommending that a baby room share definitely the first 0 to 6 months, and they're also recommending going from all the way up to 12 months. And this can work really well for some families and some babies, meaning that the parents can have the baby in room share in the room with the baby sleeping in a separate independent space, such as a crib, a pack and play, the snoo if it's a younger baby, or a side sleeper or bassinet. And that can work out really well for most families, definitely in those first 0 to 6 months. But sometimes after the baby is rolling from front to back and back to front, which typically is happening somewhere between 5 and 7 months of age, that sometimes the room sharing arrangement gets a little bit more difficult. And the reason why that happens is that the child, as they're getting up and over 6 months of age, is becoming way more aware and alert of their environment. And children this age are literally going through partial arousal cycles every 45, 90 to up to 110 minutes in that first year of life, right? So there could be a fast partial arousal every 45 minutes, 90 minutes, or 110 minutes all night long. And so when you're room sharing, if the child is older, they're that much more aware of their environment. And so you may have a situation where it's 2 a.m., they're having a very normal partial arousal, but their arousal gets bigger because they become highly aware that they are in the room with you. And they can smell you, they can see you, they can sense you. And if you're a nursing mom and you're in the room, then they absolutely can smell you and are like, yes, I am awake and I would love to have some time and some milk from my mom. And so those wakefulness cycles become much more difficult to manage. And so I have a lot of families that come to me and they're having that issue, and they say, I know the Academy of Pediatrics is recommending that I keep my baby in my room sharing environment until 12 months, but I'm having this issue where I think that we are waking each other up, right? That the baby hears me on their partial arousal, then I wake up, or vice versa. What can I do? And so I want to be clear that the Academy of Pediatrics does say you can move the baby out of the room after 6 months if the baby is meeting all their developmental milestones, that they're going to be going into a safe sleeping environment in whatever physical space you might have them. And I always recommend having this conversation with your pediatrician before making any sleeping arrangements. But what happens a lot to families is a scenario like this. They've kind of made the mental commitment, I'm going to room share with my baby until 12 months. Then the baby's starting to have all these unusual arousals, which is making everybody exhausted. And then they get to the point where the baby will only go back to sleep in the middle of the night if one of the parents takes the baby into the bed and does, essentially a bed sharing, also known as co-sleeping arrangement. And then and only then, under those circumstances, will the baby sleep well. Well, now we've just created a new problem. Now we've entered into the realm of what I call reactive co-sleeping, which is the baby kind of accidentally, without actively choosing the co-sleeping lifestyle, you have kind of grabbed the baby and brought them into the bed because that is the only thing that's working. And then that actually is not a good idea, because in the reactive co-sleeping environment, you have not necessarily created the optimal sleeping, safe sleeping environment for your child, depending on their age and stage, because this happening at 2 a.m. when everyone's kind of delirious with sleep, because they're sleep deprived. Um, and, safe, if you're choosing to do bed sharing and co-sleeping, it is absolutely unequivocally fine and fabulous and wonderful, as long as everybody is sleeping beautifully and that you've created a safe sleeping, co-sleeping situation, right? So Dr. Sears is the man about how to create safe sleeping arrangements in a bed sharing situation. So if you are finding you're doing reactive co-sleeping, or you're actively choosing to do bed sharing, fantastic. Then my resource that I recommend to you is Dr. Sears, and I would evaluate his safe sleeping recommendations, and I would follow that to the T, so that you knew that whether the baby started off in the crib and then moved to the bed at 2 or 3 or 5 a.m., that whether your baby was in the crib or your baby was in your bed sharing situation, that both environments were equally safe. What we don't want is the baby starts off in the crib and randomly ends up under the down comforter and pillows with you, and then that is where we have the safety issues. Okay. So it's not that the Academy of Pediatrics is saying you must room share until 12 months. No, what they're saying is it's a benefit the first 0 to 6 months if the baby is in an independent sleep space, or if you have made very specific bed sharing co-sleeping arrangements using safe sleeping recommendations with Dr. Sears. And then if your baby's older and rolling and you still want to continue to room share, then make sure that you're not going into this automatic, or this unconscious reactive co-sleeping and putting some jeopardy with the safe sleeping arrangements. Okay. Now, what do you do if you determine that, yeah, my baby's rolling, yes, it's totally clear we are waking each other up, now what? So it is perfectly appropriate for your baby to be in another room. Now, is it going to be hard for you as the mom to be further away from your baby? Absolutely. I remember that, being just terrified. And I was like literally like 2.5 feet from my bedroom door to her bedroom door, and it felt like 10 miles. But this is where having a video monitor can be a huge benefit to you. I really love the Owlet. And the Owlet is a great one. And the Owlet has also something here. I'm going to put a link in here for you guys. The Owlet has a sock that's coming out in 2022, which is a really fabulous little tiny sock that goes on the baby's foot, that monitors their heart rate and their sleeping patterns and their temperature. And this can be very beneficial for any parent that is really nervous about moving the baby into their own room, but still wanting to make sure that there's not a SIDS issue. The Owlet sock can be a wonderful complement along with their video monitor to really make sure that you will be alerted if there's any changes in their heart rate or their breathing patterns. That sock is going to be coming out in January 2022, and that's a great, that would make a great gift for a newborn mom, or for a mom that's ready to make the transition. So I definitely recommend that. And my whole belief system is that we want to optimize sleep not only for the baby, but we want to optimize sleep for both parents, because I am all about the well-rested family. I like to say that I'm on a well-rested family revolution, which is I want the baby to get beautiful sleep, and I want the parents to get beautiful sleep, so that everybody in the household is well rested, so that the baby has lifelong healthy sleep habits, and the parents get the sleep they need to be the parent they want to be, and to be the employee they want to be, and the friend and the mother and the spouse that they want to be, because they are well rested and can manage their life accordingly. So, um, I don't think you should have any guilt or shame if you recognize that the baby is going to sleep better in the other room, either because the baby sleeps better or because you sleep better. I feel that moms can relinquish the guilt and shame around that knowing, because what is most important is that everybody is getting restorative sleep, for healthy growth and development. So those are my thoughts, recommendations regarding room sharing and some of the current guidelines with the American Academy of Pediatrics. And if you have any questions, as always, you can always reach out to me directly. I always try to be the place to be for accurate and reliable information. I know there's a lot of misinformation around these important topics, and I always want to be the place to come where you will feel comfortable and confident that I have done my research and I'm giving you the proper perspective. And so I'm actually going to also put in the chat how to reach out to me specifically if you need to talk to me about your unique situation. You can definitely make arrangements to speak with me. And then lastly, I have also put in the chat the ages and stages sleep guidelines, which is really helpful because, again, if you look at this first 12 months of life, babies are changing so incredibly rapidly. And we want to be able to kind of know what our targets are for daytime sleep, um, for each age and stage. And we also want to know what the wakefulness intervals are in between each nap cycle and in between the onset of sleep at bedtime. And we also want to know kind of what our goals are for the totality of daytime sleep and the totality of nighttime sleep. And in that chart, it gives you all that information so that you can really ask yourself, are we sleeping well? Is my baby getting what they need? Is the environment in which we are sleeping the right environment? Do I need to consider putting the baby in the other room? Do I need to consider stepping up my safe sleeping environment in my bed sharing arrangement, et cetera, et cetera? So these are all questions you'll constantly be evaluating and making choices around, definitely in those first 12 months of life. So I hope you guys, this was super helpful to you, and always reach out with questions, and I will be here next week. I also want to remind you that I love to do hot seat coaching. So if you do have questions and you want me to talk about your unique situation, you can absolutely submit that in the you can submit a form in advance. In fact, let me go grab that. You can submit questions in advance, and then I will answer all your unique questions right here on this Facebook Live. So let me go grab that and put that in the chat as well. So I hope to see you then. Okay, I'm going to make sure this posts. 1 second. It looks like it's spinning. You know how that goes. All right, it just posted. All right, thanks so much. Take care.